الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا وحبيبنا محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وأصحابه الطيبين الطاهرين وعلى أزواجه أمهات المؤمنين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. My brothers and sisters, indeed, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is always enjoining upon us, the believers, to be conscious of Him, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. We have so many Quranic verses drawing our attention upon that or towards that. Like one of the verses we usually hear from scholars from time to time, where Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is saying, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu ittaqullaha haqqa tuqatih. O you believers, ittaqullaha, be conscious of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, that is, be submissive to Allah, do whatever Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala commands you to do and abstain from whatever He commands you to abstain from. And then He said, وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ, and do not die except in state of submissiveness. That's وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. My brothers and sisters, indeed, as believers, we always remember our purpose on this earth. And our purpose in this world is nothing other than to serve Allah Wa Ta'ala. That is what is expected of each and every one of us, to live his life in accordance with the dictates of Allah Wa Ta'ala. When we say ibadah or serving Allah, as we keep reminding one another, it is not about you giving Allah anything. It's not about you doing something to benefit Allah. It's about you doing something to benefit yourself. It's about doing something to help yourself, to make you happy, to make you safer, to make you a better person here, and then you get something better in the hereafter. And we do tell ourselves that, yes, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala just connected it to Himself just as a means of encouraging you, but not because He has anything to gain out of your work or out of your deed. He doesn't need us. Because in a verse of the Quran, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is telling us that مَا أُرِيدُ مِنْكُمْ مِنْ رِزْقٍ وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ يُطْعِمُونَ. He said, I do not need any wealth. I don't need sustenance from you, and I don't need you to feed. That is, we are not giving Allah anything. Somewhere He told us, مَنْ عَمِلَ صَالِحًا فَلِنَفْسِهِ وَمَنْ أَسَاءَ فَعَلَيْهَا. Whoever does good is for himself, and whoever does wrong, he is the one to suffer the consequences. My brothers and sisters, indeed, in our country, we are in a very, tough and sensitive period, that is election period. And as Muslims, you don't allow anything to distract you from Allah Ta'ala. As a Muslim, you don't hate your brother or fight your brother or create enmity between yourself and your brother for any other reason. Because as a Muslim, there's one thing we are taught by our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In a hadith transmitted by Imam Muslim, in that hadith, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us that لا تدخلوا الجنة حتى تؤمنوا. And he said, ولا تؤمنوا حتى تحابوا. Our noble Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this noble hadith taught us that because each and every one of us is striving to attain Jannah, to get Jannah, to attain Allah's favor, that in this noble hadith that you want to get, then the Prophet have told you what you can never get that. That is what if you don't do, you can never be able to get that. And he told us what? He said, La tadkhulul jannah. You cannot enter the paradise. Hatta tu'minu. Until you believe. That is, you cannot attain Jannah. You cannot get Allah wa ta'ala's mercy and the hereafter if you did not believe in Him. And now he went further. That is, if you want to know whether you are a believer or not, they say, وَلَا تُؤْمِنُ. You cannot be believers hatta tahabbu, until you love one another. You know, whatever kind of person you are, that is, each kind of behavior or attitude you have, those things have signs. That is, there are signs of good people and there are signs of bad people. That is, good people have their characteristics and bad people have their characteristics. That is, those who believe in Allah have their futures, have their characteristics, have their signs. And those who disbelieve in Allah have their signs. Among the sign of righteous people, among the sign of those who will enter the paradise is that they love others. So if you don't love others, then you are not a believer. Because he said, وَلَا تُؤْمِنُوا. You cannot be believers hatta, until tahabbu, until you love one another. Then he now went further in that hadith to teach us some behavior, or at least one particular behavior, that if we maintain it, it will also enhance in what? In the Lord among us. So they say, Afshaw salam, aw adullukum ala shay'in idha fa'altumuhu tahabbtum. Do I tell you what if you do, you will love one another? He said, Afshaw salam bainakum. Spread what? Salam among yourselves. Yes, as Muslims, yes, everyone is free to join whatever political party, what he wishes. And even on normal ground, it is not even reasonable for all of us to belong to one particular political party. And they say it is not what? Ideal for you to put your eggs in what? In one basket. It's just like, it's a normal thing in life. So we don't all have to belong to one political party. But all of us have to what? Have one particular goal. That is what? Goodness. Maybe the other person feels I will achieve it through here. You feel you will achieve it through what? The other process. The other person feels I will achieve it through what? This. It's just like not all of us doesn't have to become politicians. So we'll have some who will become politicians and some will be what? Maybe technocrats or whatever, or businessmen. So we need to what? Divide ourselves. But ultimately, as Muslims, yes, we don't hate one another. You don't fight your brother, or you don't hate your brother just because of worldly differences. We are all different, and there are ways we think. We think differently. Sometimes you look at issues from one particular angle, the other person looks at it from one particular angle, this also person looks at it from what? The other angle. Then you come together, you what? You solve your problem. So take for example, if you have men and women together, you don't expect the women to think exactly like men, and you don't expect the men to think exactly like women. The men will think as men, the women will think as women, and then you put the two thinking together and you come up with what? Best option. So brothers and sisters, indeed, we need to be always conscious of Allah wa ta'ala. And we need to remove hatred from among ourselves. Because those hatred actually destroy most of us. Today, all of us think someone else is responsible for the state of the nation. And I keep reminding us, all of us are collectively responsible for the state of the nation. And all of us are collectively responsible for salvaging the state of the nation. Collectively, no single individual can solve the problem of the country. No matter how good he is or no matter how bad he is. And no single individual can destroy the country, no matter how good he is or no matter how bad it is. It is a collective responsibility. And that's why there is no particular state we find ourselves and we think there's one person. Only one person decides everything and nobody can alter it. That is Allah Ta'ala. But any other person have limitation. Any other person have limitation. But Allah, if He decides, nobody can alter it because He have the power to decide and He have the power controlling the means to achieve it. And hatred for ourselves make us to do so many things thinking we are doing something reasonable. Take for instance, I keep reminding us of this. Let's check on our social media, information that we get on our social media. You will discover that more than 60% of those speaking are not speaking as God-conscious people or as responsible people. Most of us as youth, we are abusing our parents, we are cursing our parents. And some of us won't understand. Because of hatred, you will not understand. As a Muslim, I usually tell us this. There is difference, that is, there is distinction between correction and condemnation. Correction brings positive change and condemnation brings negative change. That is, the consequences of correction is positive in most cases, while the consequences of condemnation in most cases is destruction. Most of us condemn people, we don't correct people. Most of us condemn people, you don't correct people. You abuse your elders, you don't advise your elders. You don't abuse elders and you think you are right. If you abuse someone, you are abusing somebody's father. Or take for example, if today, maybe as a youth, if you abuse Atiku is somebody's father. When you are abusing him, you are abusing someone's father. And what you are taught as a Muslim is when you abuse someone's father, you are abusing your father. If you abuse Ashwaji Bola Tinubu, you are abusing someone's father. So when you abuse him, you are abusing your father. And when you abuse Peter Obi, you are abusing who? Somebody's father. So when you abuse your father, someone's father, you are also abusing your father. That's what you are taught as a Muslim. A Muslim is not known to be abusive on general, normal ground. A Muslim is not known to be abusive. You are not even supposed to abuse your mate. In a hadith transmitted by Imam al-Bukhari, Imam al-Bukhari said in that hadith that Sibabul Muslimu fusukun. Sibabul Muslimi fusukun wa qitaluhu kufrun. He said abusing a Muslim is mischief, is evil. And fighting him is what? Kufr, that is disbelief. We may try to justify our action. Somebody will tell you it's because they are not responsible. It's because they are not doing the right thing. There is no single human being on the surface of the earth who is 100% perfect. No single human being. Because that's how our maker, that's how our creator made us. I want us to underline this. He did not create human being to be 100% perfect. And that is why he did not tell you that the Jannah is meant for those who are 100% perfect. He didn't say that. Those he created them 100% upright. We don't used to discuss Jannah or hell about them. That is what? The angels. He made them like that. He said, لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم ويفعلون ما يؤمرون. Thus he made them. But I and you, he told us that kullukum, he did not say ba'dukum, he said kullukum khatta'un wa khayrul khatta'in tawwabun. That is, in a hadith al-Qudusi, Allah who made us, He is telling us that all of us, He did not say some of us, He said all of us, what? Make mistake if you like, use your mind. And He said, وَخَيْرُ الْخَطَّائِينَ, the best, He said what? The best of those who err, or the best of the sinners are those who are repentant. You do istighfar every day because you have assumption that sometime mistakenly or knowingly or unknowingly you must have committed something. Why do you apologize if you know 100% you don't make mistake? What's the value? What's the use? If you are 100% sure that you don't err against Allah, so what is the use of istighfar? What's the use? Because your Maker knows who you are. So He has set your own life to connect totally with your nature. He teaches you things to do based on your nature. And He also relates with you based on your nature. And that's why He told you that, tell them, Ya ibadiya alladhina asrafu ala anfusihim la taqnatu min rahmatillah. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said to us in a hadith, in the verse of the Quran, that tell them, O you my servants who have wronged themselves, do not lose hope from the mercy of Allah. So my brothers and sisters, indeed, my advice to myself and the rest of us is this: we all need to do things that will unite us. We all need to do things that will what? Protect all of us, that will bring peace to our nation, that will make us love one another. Even you as a Muslim, you care for the non-Muslim, not even just your own Muslim brothers. As a Muslim, you care for the non-Muslim. You love him as a person. You love him as a human being. It's his lifestyle that you don't like. It's just like maybe you see a criminal. You love a criminal. You love him as a human being. You want to save him as a human being, but it is his action you want to eliminate. That's what we must understand. Today, some of the people we mentioned, and we will say radiallahu anhum, they were also one of the most notorious people at one point. Yes, I said this with all confidence. Some of those you call Sahaba, some of those you will mention and you will say radiallahu anhum, at one point they were one of the most notorious people. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, he has buried not someone else's daughter, he has buried his own daughter alive. But today, I and you can't get to his level. So that's our problem. Because people make mistakes, you quickly condemn them. In most cases, like I used to say to people, in most cases, evil people condemn people more than righteous people. In most cases, when you say only, by the time they are knocking the person down, they want to eliminate him at all costs. Go and check, most of those doing that, they are also criminals themselves. Because in the first place, there is no mercy in their heart, so they can do anything. But good people have mercy. A lady come and say she committed what? Adultery. Before the Messenger of Allah, he is pretending he did not hear. If I and you, what will happen? Sharp, 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 sharp. You will say she has confessed, isn't it? So no waste of time. The evidence is there. You see, he's pretending he did not hear. So when she pressed and pressed, then he now turned to her and said to her, okay. And then she said to him, do you think I'm lying? I'm pregnant. Then he said, okay, go back home. And what? Until you put to bed. And nobody is sent to monitor her. Oh, she came back and said, okay, I'll put him to bed. She said, what? Go back home and what? Breastfeed the baby. But I and you today, we are looking for what? For people's fault. Not the one they told you. You are searching for the ones that you did not see. And you as a Muslim, the Prophet have told you not to spy anybody. Wala tanajashu. Don't spy anyone.
Anybody you will spy, you will get something, because nobody is 100% clean. Nobody. The worst people are those who what? Claim purity. They are in most cases the worst of the people. That's what same thing that happened to Shaitan. And khayrun min, that's what he said to Allah. Allah created, he's talking to Allah, the person who knows him better than himself. He's saying to Allah that he's better than Prophet Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. Ana khayrun minhu, khalaqtani min narin wa khalaqtahu min tin. You as a Muslim, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala told you that wala tuzakku anfusakum wa a'lamu biman ittaqa. Some who occupy political positions and you think they are so, evil, as you calculate, sometimes is because you have not gotten that chance. If you get there, you have done more damage. You, Allah saved you, you didn't get there. So what brothers and sisters, indeed, my appeal to myself and the rest of us is that I am not saying some things you claim some people have done wrong, they have not done. But all I'm telling myself and you is that we need to, to what? To set the line, to what? To differentiate between correcting people and condemning people. Good people correct, good people don't condemn. Evil people condemn, they don't correct. And you read so many verses of the Quran, the hadith of the Messenger, it taught you the consequences of correction. Somebody killed 99 people. He met someone, the person condemned him and he added the person. After making it 100, he met another person, the person corrected him, the person's life was saved, and that person who killed the righteous man, that person was still saved. That is Allah. It's not your own judgment. He killed 99. Somebody told him, how does he expect mercy from Allah after killing 99 people? Right? So what happened? He added the person. He became how many? 100. So after making 100, his own Jannah is more guaranteed than the person who told him after killing 99 that how does he expect mercy from Allah. I and you can categorically see that the person is entering Jannah. But the one who told him, how do you expect mercy from Allah for that? I and you, they ask you, where is he going? Allahu A'lam. So Allah's ways are different from his own things. Or maybe, okay, fine, they finished the election, they declared somebody winner. If Allah says he will get there, he will continue, okay, you pray, may Allah guide him to do the right thing. Simple. It is not your own duty to decide who must at all costs to be there. Whether he got there rightly or wrongly, we all need to work on what it is, because all of us are responsible for our state. Whether rightly or wrongly, anything Allah did not give you space to get, you cannot get. Yes, even if you get things rightly, if Allah did not destined you will enjoy it, you won't enjoy it. If you get it rightly, if Allah's wrongly, if Allah didn't say you will enjoy it, you won't. The issue, everything is in the hands of Allah. All of us, our mistake is that we are not putting our hope in the right person we're supposed to put our hope. We put our hope in human beings, and that's why you have headache. Put your hope in Allah. The person saving you is Allah. The person sitting on that seat is human being like you. He can give you what Allah haven't written for you. You can become the richest person in the house of the most evil person. Prophet Musa alayhi salatu wasalam was protected and guided and taken care of by who? By the person looking for him to eliminate him. That is Allah. So whether you think the person is right or not right, we should do what will save our nation. Fighting ourselves, cursing ourselves, abusing ourselves, disrespecting our elders, and the elders not showing mercy to the younger ones can get us anywhere. We will still all continue to suffer until we come back to our senses. أقول ما تسمعون واستغفر الله العظيم الجليل لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب وخطيئة فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أما بعد عباد الله أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله عز وجل. Brothers and sisters, indeed, please let us, most especially we as Muslims, Let's maintain our deen. Let's learn our deen. Let's act as Muslim anywhere we find ourselves. Anywhere we find ourselves. Whether as an electorate or as, in whatever capacity. Whether in business, in office, and show a difference. What should make you different should be your deen, not even about that office. Your deen should control you. If your deen doesn't control you, then you've wasted your life. Because nothing is permanent in this life. What you got and what you did not get, you will still leave them. That is what you got and what you did not get, you will still miss. Any state. You win election, you don't win election, you will one day not be president. That is the reality. You will come to this world, you are not in this world, one day the world will not be what? Will not be there. So you don't need to disturb yourself so much about worldly things. Because that will reduce the level of enmity. Like I said, in most cases, our hatred for ourselves is not because of truth. It's not, some of us will be making noise and saying this is because we want the truth. If it is the truth we want, the level of the hatred won't get to that level. It won't get to the level. We won't hate ourselves too much. We won't envy ourselves too much. So we can't change our country, we can't change our nation, we can't change our community without being able to change ourselves. You can't make your country good when you cannot make yourself good. You can't make Nigeria good when you yourself, that Allah has given you the control of yourself, you can't control yourself. You can't offer what you don't have. You don't expect evil people who have evil thinking to what? To have a good nation. You can have it. So if we want to have a good nation, all of us have to think what? Think good of ourselves, of our brothers. Correct our brothers. Wish those who are on the wrong path, may Allah bring them to the right path. Those on the wrong path, the right path, may Allah help them to maintain that path. But the way we are going, we will continue to suffer. Because all our actions are built on what Allah told you not to do. That is what? Hatred. Envy. It can't give you anything. All tribes are the same. No tribe is better than the other tribe. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. No status is better than the other one. Yes, everybody, there's something Allah have given him. I used to tell us something. There's one thing we are forgetting. No tribe is good in everything. Every tribe, there's something they are leading inside. Fight them, they will still bring you down. I'm assuring you. Why? Because that strength they have, it's not just their effort that gave them. Allah have ways of distributing wealth amongst us. He said to us in the verse of the Quran, Ahum yaqsimuna rahmat rabbi. He said, are they the ones sharing their bounties? That is his bounties, his blessings. Who is sharing it? He said, He, Allah, is the one sharing it. He elevates some above some. Politics, there are people that are controlling. Do anything. You finish your calculation, they will waste your calculation for you. Business, there are those controlling business. Move inside. The business will still go in the direction they want it to go. Education, there are those controlling education. Finish your calculation. The educational system will still dance to their own tune. It's Allah's mercy. I won't give you each tribe. Let those who are intelligent amongst us go and sit down and calculate. You discover that I've mentioned just 3 things. There are other things. Those 3 things, go and check. Finish your calculation. Those who are leading will still dictate what happens. It's just like a profession. In most cases, when you say nurse, the first thing that strikes people's head is the woman. When you say nurse. But nurse is not profession for women. Men are nurses too. Women are nurses, but it is a profession dominated by women. And the women dictate what happens in that area. When you say doctors, it's profession dominated by men all over the world. It's just like countries. Like now, when everybody have problem, what will they think? They'll say US, have it? Yes, time will come, it will not be US. I'm telling you this, so write it down. Time will come. problem will happen. Even whether US like or it doesn't like, nothing will happen. It is going to be dictated by another country. Allah knows which country. That's Allah's mercy. Those are days we exchange it between people. In your community there are things. In your community there are people that there is a particular family that becomes Oba. So if you are not in that family, yes, you are from Lagos, you will not be Oba of Lagos because we didn't come from that family. If you are from Kano, there is a particular house that becomes the emir. If you are not from that house, you cannot become what? Emir. So why can others get? It's Allah's mercy. It's the same thing. You cannot be maybe go to Igbo land, same thing. Some things happen like that. In London, in Britain, you cannot be what? King or queen if it did not come from one particular what? Lineage. So that's the even place we think they are just. So some things happen like that. There are things you can control, and there are ones that they are out of your own control. If you've tried your best and Allah said it will be there, just leave it and give yourself peace. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار اللهم اجعلنا في مقامنا هذا ذنبا إلا غفرت ولا هما إلا فرجت لا تحل لنا فاصبر علينا إلا قضيت ولا عصيرا إلا ستر ولا عدوا إلا ختمت إلا عافيت ولا ميت إلا رحمته ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة هي لك رضا ولنا فيها صلاح إلا أنتنا على قدر الراحمين. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالإحسان يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون واذكروا الله العظيم الجليل يذكركم واشكروه على آلائه ونعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون.